Often, people in the community who are the busiest giving to others are the ones to step up to give some more. And that's the kind of approach taken by an elected official you're going to meet today. I'm Diane Mocha with Talking Cities Aurora, and we're learning more about our Township Trustee, Jerria Donelson. She has been helping underserved populations in Aurora for decades, especially those who need affordable housing. Thank you for joining us, Jerria.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So I understand that you were elected to the Township Board this year.
Yes.
It's a new position.
Yes.
So tell me, what inspired you to want to run for this position?
Well, honestly, my father, he ran for alderman maybe about 20-something years. I know I don't look it. I know you can't believe I'm older than my 20s. But yeah, when I was young, and we help with the campaign, we help with the signs, we help with all that. So my dad has always been very politically involved, in general, he's been a political guy. So, and this opportunity came up, and he said he had spoke with a couple of community leaders who he ran the idea past, and they thought I would be a good fit, and they were like, "Go for it, and we'll support you." So that's what prompted me to go for it.
Nice. And so did you have an idea in your mind of what you wanted to bring to the township and the kinds of things you wanted to do while in the position?
Yeah, no, the township has always been there, even though most people don't realize that they're there. I can remember even as a kid going to like the dances and things that the township had and the different things. So for me, it's bringing awareness to all of the good things that the township does, especially like the youth program. And it's so much more than just the sports and the senior services that they offer. So, and my heart is in community engagement, being in the community. So this is just a perfect fit for what I was already doing. And it allows me to engage in the city and other areas where I might not have had that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And you can bring your expertise.
Absolutely.
You have a lot of years of community engagement in affordable housing.
Absolutely.
So why is that such a passion for you?
Yeah, because stable housing, that's kind of like the center hub of a stable life, of a productive life. If you don't know where you're going to sleep at every night, or if you wondering about shelter, it makes it very hard to focus on other things and to contribute and different things like that. So for me, I feel like sometimes the township gets left out too. And so just wanting to make sure that the township residents know that there's a voice that's here for you. You are part of the city, even though you are the township. We still are one community, and the resources and things that are available to you, that might be available in the city can also be available in the township. So that's really my mission, to make sure that people know what the resources are that are available to them and that they have access to them.
Mm-hmm. And awareness, like you said before, is important as well. And there's a lot of preconceived notions about housing and homelessness. And I wonder, in all these years that you've been involved, what you think are some of the myths out there. You know, people may see people that are homeless and think, well, there's a shelter, they don't really want to follow the rules, or maybe some people think, well, they were down on their luck, but there's, like you say, resources out there.
Absolutely.
But it's more than just that, getting a person off a park bench.
Absolutely.
It's also getting a family with 6 kids probably out of a 1-bedroom apartment.
Absolutely.
So can you dispel some of those myths and help us understand the importance and the spectrum of the kinds of people you're serving?
Yeah, I think too, a lot of it is the terminology. When we say affordable housing, that already puts into someone's mind that it's a certain person, it's a certain community. Affordable housing is for everybody. Wherever your price point is, that's affordable housing. And then we get into the decent housing that's available to you. And with the housing crisis that is going on right now, I've been doing housing counseling, helping people become homeowners, helping them if they're facing foreclosure, refinancing, things like that. I've been in this space for April, May 25 years. So pretty much have seen any and all scenarios. I got to say, this is the first time, even before the recession, this is the first time where you can really see that struggle, and that everybody's doing everything that you're supposed to. You went to school, you got the degree, you got the good job, but the economics are just so out of reach that it makes it very hard. And so what I think is needed for people right now, like you said, is that information. look at home ownership in all ways. It's not just getting a home, but is this somewhere that you're going to be for a long time? If it's a 5 year plan, then let's look at what that looks like. Let's look at what affordability looks like for you, short term and long term, and really I also tell people it's not just about where you live, but the community. And Aurora is a community that prides itself on home ownership. We have one of the higher home ownership rates in the country. So it's actually higher than the national average. I think the national average is about 80 something, and ours is, about 70 something, and ours is close to about 80%. So we're higher than the average in home ownership. And those resources, it's not just getting the home, but keeping the home. Aurora also has programs to help you rehab your home that you may not have to pay for. And so, not all communities offer that. And so when I do my counseling sessions, I make sure that it's not just about getting you into the home, but make sure that you're a successful homeowner, and we have all the tools and resources available for you to achieve that goal of being a successful homeowner.
Wow, so much and so important. And you've done a lot of this work through an organization. I think it was originally called the Joseph Project.
Absolutely.
Now it's called the Neighbor Project.
Yeah.
And so tell me how you got involved with that organization, what your role is now, how where you started and how you moved into the role that you have.
Yeah, I was hired with the Joseph Corporation, and originally I planned on being there maybe about 3 months. I was like, oh, this isn't going to work for me. Like, the executive director at that time, he was really trying to get me to understand the concepts and think. I just got out of college, and so I was on a different path, So, and community giving back was not in my game plan. I was looking to be that strong businesswoman and take the city by storm and stuff. And then started meeting some of the, for lack of a better word, customers. They were residents who would come for loan products and down payment assistance or foreclosure, and then getting to know them and know what's going on in their life and how the work that we were doing is so impactful that it literally was life or death for some people. And I came in as the receptionist, worked my way up from that to administrative assistant, to program assistant, to a housing counselor, to a director of homeownership, and now I'm the HUD compliance manager. So with the Neighbor Project. And the reason I stayed with the Neighbor Project, even after we merged with another nonprofit, the Emmanuel House, who was doing great work in Aurora, I still wanted to be part of the organization because of the passion. Like I said, in the nonprofit world, most of us don't do our job because of the big bucks. A lot of times we do our job because of the love. And, what gives me peace is knowing that I was able to provide information for somebody, our choices, our hope. And sometimes in those counseling sessions, I go over your budget, your action plan, what your goals are. But sometimes it's just that 20 minutes. Where are you at today? What's going on in your life? What's your, credit and numbers and things like that on paper? They tell you patterns, but they don't tell you why people made those decisions that they had to make, or why. Some people will judge others and say, well, they did this or they did that, but you don't know the choices that they had and why they had to do what they had to do,
or the lack of choices,
and they might be in survival mode. So I'm really at this point in my career and the stage of my profession with counseling, I've learned to tune that ear to go beyond book session, and let's find out where you're at, what your real goals are, and how can I help you achieve that goal that you're trying to reach.
And so you do that full time.
I do that full time.
And then you're township trustee part time.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so what's the intersection of those two? How are you bringing some of the things that you learn when you're counseling people for housing to your role since you've been a trustee?
Right. So doing the Neighbor Project, we have our standard programs and services and things like that. But the Neighbor Project also does a lot of partnering with me too. We actually work with Everlasting Word Church, and we have a customer service center that's there for people that might not feel as comfortable. We're located in the downtown Aurora area, but the church is located right on the west side in a neighborhood. So if people felt our office in the Broadway is an old bank building, so it has all the wood and the glass. I mean, it looks amazing for a nonprofit office. So sometimes that could be intimidating, especially if you're a culture that's not used to dealing with banks or things like that. So we've been able to partner with Everlasting Word Church and to kind of soften that barrier and to say that you're welcome. And then also from Everlasting Word Church, we have the African American Homeownership Club, which goals and purposes are to promote and preserve the wealth of the homeowner, but also keeping in mind, especially the wealth of the Black homeowner, which is the wealth gap in our city is still severe, as in our country. So we want to make sure that we're drawing attention to that. But those are ways that we're able to move a little more in the community and maybe not have such that business approach, even though the Neighbor Project is very welcoming. But, we're just trying to meet people where they're at. And not everybody has transportation. Not everybody has internet. Not everybody has these things. But the center has those things. And it's a collection of other churches and other nonprofits who are working together to help people learn about home ownership, how to take care of your property. Those those generational wealth building resources and skills. So.
And partnership with government agencies.
Absolutely.
Because, the township has helping people with their mowing their grass, right? For seniors to keep up their property so they don't get that nuisance. And then they have assistance if people are, that general assistance if people are in danger. So now you have even more connection to give those people, additional resources.
A whole holistic approach to everything. Absolutely.
And Talking Cities is looking to partner even more with the community, and organizations like the township by inviting kids, young people to come in and do what we're doing,
Absolutely.
Right? Talk to people in the community, share a particular perspective, just find their voice.
Absolutely.
And so in order to move forward with projects like this, there needs to be funding.
Absolutely.
So what can you do in the community to try to help with that?
Yeah, and I think too, a lot of times there's other organizations and programs that are going on that just aren't aware of other needs. So bridging that need, with my roots deeply in the community involved. I say churches, but really the church to me is a community. I grew up as a preacher's kid, so. Church is everything. When you say church, I really mean everything. So, so the community of all people of all walks of life, and I think getting that idea and that opportunity exposed to letting them know that we have an opportunity to pour into our children and to give them that much of a edge. I think it's just a matter of us linking it up with the right people and being able to do that from the township at the outreaches that we have, partnering with other community organizations and churches. I think that that's something that could definitely be lifted and picked up and ready to go. And that's something that I can help partner and help bring attention and awareness to.
Nice. Yeah. There's so many leaders in the community that want to help the youth succeed and give them the resources and to know that, they can sponsor even an individual kid just the way that an organization might give out a scholarship.
Absolutely.
You give out a scholarship to get them to start having their voice be heard. And that's another thing that we're doing here through the township is making sure that the voices of the elected officials and even the community members are heard. And we thank you for being here to share that with us.
Thank you.
And we invite you to get involved in your community, just like Jerria has. For Talking Cities Aurora, I'm Diane Mocha.